This is the day that the Lord has made, and certainly we ought to be glad and rejoice in it. We are back at it again. I know you guys missed us
Yes.
immensely. we ain't seen you guys in a couple of weeks, and my sister hit me like, "Hey, let's get on." I said, "Yeah, you've been ducking me. I don't know what's going on." That's how we do people nowadays. She got that book and best-selling author, and she forget the little people. So thanks be to
Oh, I
God,
wish.
she remember me.
I
How are
wish.
you, Trey? How are you?
I'm doing good. I am doing good. I'm just glad that we've made it back. God, that means He has worked it out in our
Oh
favor.
man, it
So I'm
wouldn't be
excited.
for the Lord who was on my side. Huh? Lord have mercy. Yeah, how have your first couple of weeks been getting reacclimated back to school?
The first couple of weeks back to school is what brought the topic today. Social media and mental health.
Yeah,
Because early on there's problems, when you first go back to school, you first go back to work, anything, the first thing that starts happening is structure is being set again. There's being organization is being put in place, and what I'm noticing and what I have noticed is this wave of I can't live without my cell phone.
wow.
It's the what? We can't use our phone no more. Oh wow, we got to put the phone away. We got to turn it off. Like it's a complete just bomb of confusion. Like, come on. Like, and
Yeah,
one would think, like, what is really going on? But something is really a problem with this social media as it relates to mental health.
certainly, certainly. Good evening, Pastor Sherry Brown Jack. That's my peer in my D-Men program, Trey. We about done next semester, me and her
Yes, come
and
on.
one other. We'll both be Reverend Doctor in the very foreseeable
Come
future. And
on.
I'm done with school. I'm done. I done fought the good fight. I finished the course, and I tried my best to keep the faith. Markeisha, good evening. Good evening. But yeah, Tracy, it's interesting, this topic because it don't even impact young people. Even adults are ingratiated with social media and what was once just a tool that people utilized to post pictures and could stay connected with family and to stay kind of locked in with people has become this organism that is literally, in my estimation, or my opinion rather, has a very toxic vein that's going towards it where people are so enamored with likes and clicks and being affirmed that if they're not affirmed via the social media medium, they believe as if their life are invaluable or people don't care or people don't love them. And how did we get here in your opinion?
One, I think we got here because social media became people's friend.
Mm,
You have so many friendless people that were able to just build a friend list that in turn has now become the hit list.
mm,
Because these same people you friend, this multitude of people you gathered as your following, are the people who are attacking you.
wow, wow,
Are the people who are spreading what's happening. So I think that social media, Facebook coming, first before Instagram and these different things and Twitter and stuff, is that it was your friend.
yeah.
Oh, well, you're friendless. You don't have anybody to talk to. Oh, well, let's connect. Oh, all of your high school friends are on here. Let's gather them all together.
Mm,
And then
mm.
it became the enemy.
Right.
It became the thing to where I remember being out to eat one day and this older lady and her husband was there eating, and they looked over and they were like, "Oh, y'all are talking." And my husband was like, "What?" And she was like, "I have not seen young people." And these
Mm,
people have to have been 70 or 80 years
sure.
old. So they were seasoned people and they were
Hmm.
amazed. Like, two younger people are sitting at a table talking to each other. And so that's just kind of the world we live in.
Yeah. And what's
It's
sad with that, Trey, is I want to piggyback what you said about the friend list. In our actuality, the misconstrued nature of social media is you think these people are actually your friend because the terminology how they listed as a friend on Facebook or a follower on Instagram or Twitter is very distorted in my opinion. because
Absolutely.
I looked at my page earlier today because I knew it was going to be on this topic matter, and I got like 4,000 plus friends on there. And if I were to be completely honest with you, I may know less than 10% of the people that's on my friend list because people have I've accepted as a friend because I'm in ministry, and I don't have a clue who they are. But in my stage of life, I'm not also so focus on if people like me or what they say or what they do because I didn't grow up as a young person with social media. There was no social media in high school for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it got there toward the latter part of college, but it's a different dynamic. And nowadays,
Yeah.
for my children, my sons, I mean, you can't escape
You
it.
had to go out of your way to know somebody.
Yeah,
And so,
yeah,
like, it was a mission
yeah,
for you to say, "This is my friend,"
yeah,
or to get to know somebody. And like you said, I don't even know half these people, right, that I have friended for different reasons. I'm a pastor. I may say something that these 4,000 some people need to hear,
certainly.
that God wants them to hear. But think about the people who aren't using their social media platform for ministry, for spreading of the gospel, for happiness. There are people who got 4,000 friends, and every day their intent is to be nasty
Yeah.
online, bow with the mouth, all their comments are negative. So if you think about it, this list of 4,000 people, how many people are even coming to the page for something good?
Yeah, because the toxicity of social media is that negative or vile stuff will go exponentially faster than anything I post positive. I joke with my wife that if I slip and fall preaching, I will have hundreds of thousands of likes and shares, and people will make a
Yes,
mockery of me. Look at this
yeah,
preacher. Look
absolutely.
at this alpha. Look at this person. He got so slain in the spirit, he slipped and split his suit open or something like that. However, if I'm speaking life into people, I may have 20 people to see it. And it's
Yeah.
amazing that if I do something crazy or vile or cynical, it just overwhelmingly gets spread. And it's like, how have we gotten to this place where we are so enamored with toxicity and negative connotations that that seems to be the normality of so much of the social media presence?
And to the point of, not only have we got enamored in being negative, but it's almost like people are going into downward spirals because they haven't met this quota of a friend list,
Yeah,
because they posted what they thought was good content, and three people said something, and they're spiraling out of control because of the following is not there.
right, right. And with our young people in particular, as you mentioned, with you having people struggle now, almost like they detoxing from their phones now that school is back in.
It's serious.
Yeah, and it's like, how do young people, even some older, develop social skills to be able to talk to people if their whole lives are consumed through electronic devices?
I also think too, you know how we talked about before when we talked about parenting,
Yeah.
and we talked about adults and parenting in this age and this time, and with related to mental health. If you even think about it, we were taught to be a little bit stronger,
Hmm.
to be able to know who you are. Social media has helped people to invent who they want to be and
Mm,
ignore who they are
Lord have mercy.
altogether. So what has happened in that is, when we see at school, when we're like, no more phones, no more, put them away. You don't need them. We taking them. The parents
Mm.
are, oh, no, no, no. What happened if it's an emergency? Well, back in 1992, you had to call the school or
Certainly.
just simply come and get them
Yeah.
if it was an emergency.
Yeah.
So now not only is the child can't take it, The parents suddenly can't take it that their child is in distress because they don't have a phone.
Lord have mercy. And you said something critical is this allure of this perception of what people want to think, because with so many Snapchat filters and all these other things, and we have to be at a perfect angle to post it, and we have to have a perfect caption to post it. It's almost like we have been consumed with the superficial, as if every single day trade, every single moment, I am just in a perfect position. I'm at the perfect angle. I'm in the perfect shot. And we only want to post what we perceive as something that is perfection, when in actuality, for most people, that is completely devoid
But
of their
isn't
life.
that crazy that we all know that it's not real, right? That we know it does not make sense,
Yeah,
but people are completely ignoring their logic for the sake of what's being sold to them. So then you think about it. What is in the phones? Why? You asked earlier, why how did we get here? If anybody knows, Apple is one of the leading people in cell phone and technology. Hands down, leading. But if anybody knows, Apple doesn't produce phones or technology without the help of psychologists. Psychologists work with Apple to enact the what effect will this have.
wow,
So in turn, they are paying mental health professionals to assist them in being able to create the product
wow,
that is encapsulating our life.
wow. So if I hear you correctly, Reverend, we have trained professionals who took oaths, who's taken clinical classes, who has degrees, who have certifications, all of the like. These same folks who should be helping folks in their mental health and mental wellness are being kind of covertly used to help drive up Apple, Samsung, whomever else, stock prices, cell phone sales, social media algorithms, so that they know exactly what to tweak and how to do it to get more people consumed towards it.
The Apple creator has stated, and this is not a target to Apple,
Sure.
they're just one of the leading
Yeah, absolutely.
cell phone
I got an alert today
producers.
that saying the new one about to come out later this month. Yeah,
Yes, and
yeah,
you can get it for free,
yeah, yeah.
right? So he has mentioned his own children don't have a cell phone.
Wow.
So the person who has inherently created this awesome technology for millions and billions of dollars don't even give their own children the thing that they're selling,
Hmm.
which in turn is also like people who create um pills who inadvertently are related to another drug,
Hmm.
but they give it away in doctors offices. These same people don't give it to their families.
Wow.
The people that know that these things exist say no, not to my kid. TikTok creator, China, great, wonderful techno. We all know them for technology. In their country, technology is restricted. They have a
Very much so.
TikTok, but all of their 13-year-olds and under, TikTok is restricted to science lessons,
Wow.
math lessons.
Wow.
So you can TikTok, but you gonna be ticking into an education. And so
Yeah.
you stop and you think, and we like, oh my God. So knowingly, there are people who know it so bad, they know it so bad, they don't do it to their own people.
Right. However,
So when you
it's
have
oversaturated here in these yet to be
so
United
when
States of
you have
America.
these kids who are falling apart, falling apart. I have had a high school student.
Hmm.
I'm gonna kill myself.
Wow.
Well, hold on, baby. Wait a minute. So let's go in the office. Let's figure out what's going on. They're in full tears. They're in full breakdown. They are sweating. So I'm like, oh my God, that we're having a mental health crisis, only to determine that he is falling apart because his teacher took up his cell phone.
So his life in that equation is surmised by his cell phone because he's saying whether
I'm
he
gonna kill
my
myself.
yeah. So again, we got to take it at face value. I mean, it could be semantics, it could be serious. But from what you're describing, that sounds pretty serious. So you mean to tell me that your life is that invaluable that if you can't have this phone, you will I don't want to live anymore?
And no one's going to say, "Oh, I might need to do something about my son in this phone to where I have to leave work now to come get him because now he has threatened suicide to himself because of a phone." But no one's interacting to say, "Oh my God," like something, because like you mentioned, he could be lying, he could be telling the truth. We don't want to be here to know.
Of
We
course.
don't want
Of
to
course.
ignore it
Yeah,
to
that's
say
not a risk worth
he's
taking.
not being honest.
That's not a risk. Because if he kill himself at your school, you got a whole host of stuff you got to do because they're gonna want to see, well, where was the counselor? Where was the administrators? Where were the teachers? And again, if we placate to the student and just give them the phone or give them what they need, we're almost like giving them a drug and they are a addict.
So no one's really saying we might need to do something, because one thing I don't think parents realize, and we allow video games to entertain our kid, raise them so much so.
Wow.
No one knows that there's a clinical, or not many people know. I can't say no one knows. Not many people know that there's a clinical diagnosis where you can be addicted to video games.
Lord have mercy.
I've had a student completely drop out of school because he cannot come, because he cannot not be on that video game. Complete dropout because he cannot function being in school and not playing that game.
And girl, the most stuff you drop, the sadder this is getting because we have a whole generation of people who are suffering mightily because of the obsession with technology, with social media, with all of these things that they believe is how they associate their value and their worth with. If I'm good at video games, people would like me because they have a huge online audience of people playing now online. If for
Yes.
social media, your kind of quote unquote status is directly correlated to how many followers, how many likes, how many comments, how many people
Right.
are locked in with you. And at
Yes.
some point, we as parents, we as adults, we as leaders, we as Christians gotta step in and say, hey, we cannot allow this knowingly destruction to continue to take place and keep our heads in the sand.
Yeah. But it's about being honest, first of all. It's hard for people to it's even with autism
Yeah.
or with a special education diagnosis or dyslexia or anything. I have seen people completely refuse to accept that their child has a disability to the point of they'll allow them to self-destruct.
Wow.
Well, if well, yeah, I don't believe that he's reading on a second grade level. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And if that's the case, if he's never going to be really up there academically anyway, then I don't want them to be in the reading class. I'll rather them just have their electives so that they can have fun.
Trisha, do you think it's pride?
It's pride. It's also something being wrong with your child is a direct reflection that parents feel like it's on them. If I admit that my ninth grader reads on a second grade, I have to take accountability for that. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to rather make them be happy, be in some elective classes, and then struggle, right?
To
How-
to become an illiterate adult that will more likely than not be able to take care of themselves or possibly go into the criminal justice system. Because if you can't read, if you can't comprehend, chances are, even if you can get a job, it's going to be one of the
I
very
don't know what I'm signing.
exactly,
I don't even realize the pay I have agreed to.
exactly,
I
exactly.
don't understand what y'all saying. I got it. Okay. I don't even understand that my contract's probationary.
Wow.
I, I don't understand. So we are looking at these same kids who I already cannot read. I got a cell phone though. I got social media though. I have all this stuff. Like I so and the crazy part is none of us, me included, have ever taught our children how to use a cell phone. We never taught
You're
them how to use
absolutely
a cell
right.
phone
Now that I think
because
about it,
what did they do?
you're
They
absolutely right.
figured it out.
You're absolutely right. Now that I think about it, my wife and I just got our last child a phone here a month ago because he was on our necks. He's the only one in the house to have a phone, and we decided to get him one. But you're absolutely right. Even when they were younger, we never taught them how to use a phone. But lo and
Taught them how to use a
behold,
phone.
these kids are,
They figured it out, right?
yes.
But
However,
can't figure out how to pay a bill
not
when they
mine.
turn 17, 18. Can't determine right decision, wrong decision.
Right.
Can't, but no one ever taught them how to use a cell phone, and they know it better than you.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And what's sad with that scenario and really incriminating for us because I'm definitely guilty, not just you. And where we do ourselves a disservice at because other than my oldest son, which is 19, my younger ones don't have social media because it's so toxic. I'm trying my best to avoid them
Yes.
of getting exposed to it. But the flip side of it's when they go to school and their friends got it. So now they're dealing with the pressure of, okay,
They getting tortured.
yeah, why you don't have a
Listen,
TikTok or why you don't have a this or that.
there is a student who got laughed to the point of needing to go to the counseling office because he did not have a phone and he asked to call his mother. And when he said, they said, well, go ahead, you can call your mom. He said, well, I need to go to the office because I don't have a phone. And there was an eruption of laughter throughout this room of, oh man, you don't have a phone. Mind you, half these kids' phones probably government assistance phone, maybe, or
Lord have
or
mercy.
they parent had to choose between this or that
Yeah.
for you to have this phone. But the level of I'm indebted a phone, I'm due a phone, or the normalcy of a cell phone now is that a child can't have a phone. Like can't not have a phone to where he gets laughed and he's like, well, my mama can't afford it, and has to then find himself going into a full explanation
Wow.
for me to have to say you don't owe them an explanation
Wow.
to explain why your family dynamic you don't have a phone.
So not only does this young man have to deal with the financial constraints of his home, he has the emotional and psychological trauma now at school because it's compounded now because now he's a joke. And
Yeah, you don't have
unfortunately,
a
kids, I hate to say this, but they care what they peers think. Although it's inconsequential, it really doesn't matter. However, to them, if that young man being laughed at, I can imagine what type of traumatic experience that was for him.
oh yeah, and to know is nothing you can do about it. what
Right.
what can you do? You can't do nothing
Or
about that
Trey,
no more.
he revert to doing something he shouldn't do. He might go steal from somebody. He might go try to do something because now I'm embarrassed. Now I'm ashamed. Now I want to be accepted. So now,
Or now I just may go home and start showing out because I'm just simply upset that I can't have no phone.
or worst case, I might go home and take my own life because
Because
now,
what do I do?
what do I do? It's that is horrendous. That is really
And
is.
you think about the aspect of social media, it's a cause of it has created a craving. It's created a full craving. If you think about adults, I've sat in meetings with adult people and just scanned the room only to realize 85% of these grown people are on their phone, which in turn,
Yeah.
if this was 85% of their classroom, they would be out of their minds right now.
Right.
Why are y'all not listening? Why you ain't paying attention?
Right.
Why are you? But you are engulfed in the same thing that
Right.
you are bopping them over the head to not do. And you can't even sit in a staff meeting and not do it yourself.
I mean, because social media, in my opinion, has kind of hypnotized all walks of life, all ages, all stages. Because now all of a sudden, people wake up to check their phones and get on social media to see what happened. They find their news outlets there. They find out what's happening in the world there. It's so much inundated of social media now that I'm willing to argue for some, before they thank God for waking them, they have checked their Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, just to
Oh
see if they've
yeah.
been mentioned.
Oh, absolutely. Or it's the aspect of, well, I just don't think you serious about me because you won't put our relationship
Lord have
on
mercy. You get messy, Trey.
on
You
the
get
internet.
messy. You get messy.
On the internet.
You get messy. Oh, that's a
you
whole
didn't
nother can of
you
worms
you
there.
didn't post me. Like, like,
Oh man, yeah,
oh
that
Lord. Like
it's a
it's
lot.
it's a it's a multitude of, and it's building people to have such low self-worth and high insecurity. It is crazy, even down to the person online of how they look. We realistically know no one's waist is a 12, 10, 8, or 6. And your hip area is a 40, 50. And like we know that don't make no sense. But we also
Oh
see
Lord.
this person, and this person has literally died trying to do this,
Yeah.
and we will still go take our chances.
Yeah, yeah. They built like an ant.
Yes, like
Yeah,
that
so
ain't realistic.
yeah.
You need, if you get in a car accident, you need to bounce a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. But the
You
problem
need
is,
something.
because the allure, or I'm trying to fashion what society has told me is acceptable, is sexy, is attractive. Now all of a sudden I'm willing to go get on a plane, fly to another country, go have surgeons that I don't know their credentials, place and insert and snip and clip and all these other things. I'm willing to suffer through whatever necessary just so I can have this small waist and these larger hips. And it's like, for what? So I can post it, so
when
I can snap it, so I can do all these things.
when I could have used the copay of $30 to go get me some mental health assistance,
Yeah,
that would have cost me a whole lot less
yeah,
for me to attack whatever was going on with me. To then, in turn, if I didn't like something about my physical self, once I got my mental self right, I could then be in a place where I'm willing to fix that part of
of
me
course.
without having to need these extreme measures.
Yeah.
And then not only am I going to get the surgery, but then after that, I'm going to get online in the gym like I really did that in the gym.
Lord have mercy. Yeah, boy, don't they do it? Boy, they had a surgery, and all
You
of a
ain't
sudden
tricked us.
you posting these pictures like, yeah, I've been eating right and drinking my water. Wait a minute, wait a minute. 2 weeks ago, it was something completely different. I don't care how much water one has consumed. You could smoke crack and you won't get down that fast, that quick.
Yeah,
So all of a sudden, no, what you did is with cheated and manipulated the process because again, something may have been imbalanced within you psychologically because some reason or another you felt that I needed to circumvent the old fashioned way of getting in shape by expediting the process because I needed to look a certain way. And what's crazy with that is, Trey, what is the rationale? What do you think that this will do for you?
it's it's almost like what my book is about. The little person something happened to you
Right.
at whether it's 8, 5, 13, 26, 8, whatever age it was, and you are stuck at that baseline. And until you go do something about this baseline in which you are stuck, social media is going to take you, snatch you, chew you up,
Hmm.
spit you out, or have you emotionally unattached and unintelligent to the point where you cannot gather yourself.
Hmm.
The people are even going to social media to commit their crime, like the father
Yeah.
who could not take it anymore and literally killed his 3 children and himself on live.
Everybody want to be
Like
famous.
it's it's one way or the other.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a like some kind of way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to finally find that attention that maybe I didn't get at 8.
Yeah.
I'm going to find it
Yeah.
one way or the other. And if all else fails, I'll go to social media to get it if I don't find it in myself.
Yeah, because when, in particular, when you do something as heinous as that, you'll be infamous forever. Your name will resound forever. And some people think that's enough. And what's crazy is it's attacking our young people from elementary, middle school, high school. It's ravaging our colleges because I think, well, statistics are kind of in between both, between the high schoolers and college. This depends on what Pew Research you go and look at, because so often now, because people live on social media devices, they got to post what they eat, they got to post where they at, they got to post what they're doing, what they're wearing, where they about to go, and so forth and so on. If they don't receive the level of affirmation that they expected, it causes psychological and emotional deficiencies when, in all actuality, social media really isn't real.
At all.
It's just a
At all.
disposition of what a person posts in a snapshot in time.
The reality of someone going on a vacation. And the crazy part is, social media has attacked the brain so much. Somebody will post. They will be truly be on a vacation. They will post these pictures. They are completely and utterly living it up. Their caption is living my best life.
Sure.
Gal, I ain't got it like me. And there is 35 people that know you beg, that know you don't have no money, and that know that once you come back from this vacation, you'll be back to begging again.
Lord have mercy.
And they will continue to give this illusion. And so then there is somebody who's really down bad, is looking at this situation like, see, everybody but me. Everybody's able to but me. In all reality, the person who's also posting this can't either.
Yeah. But because, Trishelle, I need the affirmation, because I need people to be envious of me. I need people to think I really got it going on. I will go into debt. I will have all sorts of issues and problems trying to go and do and live my best life and can't even afford to feed myself when I get back.
Oh,
Because social
absolutely.
media,
Or
I gotta
will
tell it all.
boldly go fund me. Boldly go fund me after a vacation.
Lord have mercy.
Will lose their residence after a vacation because to post those pictures did something for them in
Right.
nature.
Yeah, but we really got to get to the bottom of it. And I think you hit the nail on the head. Why I don't think I know you did earlier. It's because of that lack of doing the internal work. We're working with a counselor, a therapist to see what is going on with me. Why do I feel so drawn to live my life vicariously through social media? You know, what is it about my life that I must get the acclaim? Because when people say, well, I don't care what people like it, I don't care what people think. Well, why did you go through filters? Why do you find the perfect angle? Why do you look for the perfect caption? If you literally don't care, post everything.
But here's what is amazing: the people who don't care respond the most.
Right. Right.
You are
Right.
responding to every comment under that picture.
Right.
Like,
Right.
if you do not care, your response is not necessary. You posted whatever the response is, you move on because you truly do not care. Because to not care is to not respond.
Correct. And to not care is to not be consumed with Trey. The moment you post it, every 30 seconds you refreshing it to see who liked it, to see who commented. I mean, you literally driving
To see
yourself
what's going
bananas.
on.
Yeah, because but I don't care. However, I'm going to keep refreshing. I'm going to keep checking. And for some people, they're hoping certain people respond. And if they don't respond, now they got a whole nother. Well, man, I didn't. Why they didn't respond or why they didn't do this? And I'm like, man, you are literally
Or the
consuming yourself.
person who's in mental breakdown, who is in the middle of mental distress and will go live to cry.
Girl, you say you got to go in a little bit. Don't you really stir this stuff up because
You
that's
will
another
go
that's going to be
live
part two to this conversation because
to
people
cry.
they Trey, we go live everywhere. We go live. I just got admitted in the hospital. I got the tubes. What are we doing? I mean, I see that stuff and a part of me cringes, the other part of me laughs in disbelief. Like, you mean to tell me if I'm going through something mentally, I'm going through something physically, I'm gonna be like, hey, Crystal, grab me my phone. Let me go live to let the people know. That is not my thought process. But
And
again,
here's the thing, we also haven't figured out that I don't want everybody praying for me.
oh, that's a whole nother sermon. Yeah, yeah. Some people
I
praying on your
don't
downfall. They
want
they hoping the plug get
I
pulled.
don't want your social media assistance. I don't want it. I don't want to believe that realistically I have made myself believe that this 4,000 people that I simply just friended as a following to engage in the goodness of the things I'm giving out, all of them are for my good. No,
No, no,
no
because
way.
some people are there just to spy. Literally, some people are there just to
No.
see what you're doing, wishing and hoping for your downfall. Some people may actually care. Some people are just nosy. Some people are just there with the popcorn. They just want to be
That's it.
entertained. And
That's
for
it.
you to have some sort of semblance that I must let people know, because most of the time when we do that, we're not actually doing that with a genuineness. We're doing that because we want people to be, oh man, I'm praying for you. I'm so sorry you're in this position. I mean,
Or pray for me, don't ask. Well, what we praying for? What is we
well,
praying for?
that's
How I'm gonna go to God on your behalf if I don't know what the half
well,
is?
we brother, you know what we say? What we say is, you ain't gotta know, God knows. We say all we got all colloquialism, but we bad at stuff like that. We tell folks in any given moment, don't ask, just pray. Now you done put us all and exposed us to your business, but yeah, you got a tube coming out you. Don't ask, just pray. Wait a minute. I mean, I don't know if they about to call
Well,
time of
because
death or what.
the word, and you would be the one to help me best, because
Oh,
the word does say when you pray, be specific.
that's what the text say. That would Grant. Maybe they have a different interpretation or different translation than we may have. I don't know. Everybody's making a Bible commentary nowadays. Who knows? So
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
curious though, because again, this social media drug has caused
because
folks
that's what it is.
has caused folks to really become devoid of human empathy and human compassion, and it's hurt people to be able to really talk to people.
Because even if you think about, if we go back to one of the big moments in social media, Black Lives Matter was high at the
Sure,
time. And Chadwick Boseman gets on, and all as he should. And
sure.
he speaks against these things. We didn't hear nothing he said. The world did not listen. They saw him and attacked him.
Of course.
And in less than 30 days, he was deceased.
Now then we posted our RIP, and we got Black
Then
Panther going
it
on
was,
loop.
oh, we talked about that man, and now that man was sick the whole time.
Right.
Like, and only to then say, oh, okay, only to turn around and go back to your bad habits. Only think about it. What if he wasn't sick? Let's just say he wasn't. And what if the media of this society push this man to do something to himself, to have a mental discord and breakdown, because you don't know if your comment's going to be the comment.
You don't.
You don't know if your attack is going to be the straw on the camel's back. Like, you don't know
You
that.
don't.
And we all exist in this world to where we are our greatest self behind this keyboard.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. In the words of Drake, Twitter fingers turn to what do you say? Trigger fingers turn to Twitter fingers, because
Yeah.
we get so enamored, and like we said earlier, people nowadays are experts in everything. So they want to tell you this or tell you that, or type something so vile and vicious and vindictive towards you. And because they believe that they have a right to comment on everything, or they have a right to give their opinion about everything, you never know what that does to a person's mental. Just because they are a celebrity or rich or famous.
And when you post and when you go on social media, you also have to be prepared
You
that if
better.
you are not mentally
You
sound,
better.
stay off there. If you are truly not mentally sound in yourself, it's probably in your best interest to also stay
You
away
better.
from social
You
media.
better. But see, then Trey, you have people pushing them towards social media because, again, in this construct in which you're in, I mean, most of our media dollars, advertising dollars, is all flowing through social media. So
How do you have a business these days without social media?
yeah, so
I can barely be a therapist without social media.
it,
And I'm not doing a good job at keeping up with the posts I need to make every day,
hey,
and
I,
so and
I
so and
I know
so.
the feeling.
But,
I know
but
the
you
feeling.
can't even be successful, even in the area of mental health, if you have not 100% bought into the idea of social media.
You have to. It is an animal that's not going away. It's getting stronger as the
Oh,
days go on.
it's
But what
mm-mm.
I try to help people with, both young and old, is to realize that social media is nothing more than a tool. That's all social media is. No different than money to me as a tool. It is a means to an end. Use it in the construct in which it was intended to be used, not as some sort of self identifier, some sort of value scale that if my
Yeah.
social media is not popping, that means I'm invaluable, I'm worthless, I'm discounted, I'm devalued, and before you know it, you buy into the hype of what people say or what people think or what people perceive. Because
Yes,
as you mentioned, people are only gonna put up there what they want you to know. If we honest,
absolutely.
that's all they're
Or
gonna put up
what
there.
they no, it's not even what I want you to know. Social media has packaged. You can now put up what you want people to believe.
I
It
agree.
don't even have to it don't even have to be real. Whatever you want people to believe about you, that's what you put out there, and then let's just see what happens.
I agree. I amend my comment. That's a better way of framing it. What I want you to believe, because in actuality, none of us can verify if it's actually truth or not. I mean, I was joking. Markeisha, who's on here, she's a photographer. I was joking. She was doing a photo shoot with me. We was walking by, and it was a nice Audi, a BMW, a Benz. She was like, "Get next to this car and take a picture." And I was like, "Well, wait a minute. This not my car. I'm from Fifth Ward. We don't do this kind of stuff." And she was like, it's for the aesthetic. But I'm like, that's not me.
But it's not my car.
It's the
And
it's
for
the
me
aesthetic.
to take a picture, and it's because you grew up in a time to where what people consider flossing is just straight up lying.
Yeah,
Like, and
yeah.
you gonna get called out for lying. And social media has us so misconstructed that these people are taking pictures. They're going to Steak 48 and then don't got groceries. Like the illusion.
Yes,
And then
Lord.
there's people who know you, who know this is unreal.
Right.
And that doesn't even stop you from tapping into this fake sense of social media.
Yeah, yeah.
And it is tearing the minds of us down.
Unfortunately, and I know we got to get out of here. You absolutely correct. And the problem with so many of us nowadays is because we care more about what people think of us or what the perception is than what our actual reality is. We are willing
Yeah,
to risk it all. We're willing to do what's necessary. We're
that's
willing to
it.
go into debt.
We
We're
gonna
willing to
risk it all.
whatever is necessary. We will do it. And guys,
Yeah.
we hope this was helpful. We're just trying to help people from counselors' vantage points because again, we talk to people every day, and we realize that if we don't get this under control, it's not going to
Yes.
get any better
Absolutely.
because it seems like they're making more and more social platforms, different
And, and
iterations
be
of this.
clear, I get on average in a week
Hmm.
20 calls of consultation,
Hmm.
and maybe one of those people actually activate therapy. There are people who know they have problems, know that they need help,
Hmm.
and the world, the illusion, the being stuck at that age won't allow them to say enough is enough. I need to go get help.
Yeah, some people will never go get help, and that's the sad part because help is always available. There's so many people that can help, not just the two of us, but there are hundreds of thousands of people that can help. And people who have the earnest desire to help, however, but because I'm prideful, because I'm maybe cynical, because I'm not willing to do anything,
Mhm.
because again, we talked about this a couple sessions ago in our in particular for African American in our context and in our construct growing up, what happened in this house, stay in this house. We ain't gonna talk about things that's happening.
Mhm.
So we just perpetuate trauma. It just
Yep.
rolls.
That's it.
It just rolls. And it's unfortunate, it's sad, but just know Trishelle and I are here to help. And where we
Absolutely.
can, we're here to give discussion and dialogue with people. And I see Virgil, I will read through that. That's a long message that you sent. I gotta kind of
I
read.
was trying to read and
Yeah,
side eye and read,
yeah.
but
That's a
I couldn't
long
get it
message. I
down.
would have to. I would have to unpack that one, and I promise you, one of us, if not both of us, will respond. We don't want to be insensitive, but that's a long one. But again, we're not going to take another 3 months off from coming back. We'll definitely be coming back
Oh,
more frequently. And if there are any subjects, any topics that you guys want to engage with or discuss, just shoot either of us a message. Let us know, and we're just here to be a resource. Because we know in particular, social media now is so prevalent, and it is doing
yeah,
irreparable harm to people day in and day out because they are
yeah,
consumed by
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But I'm glad I'm back. I'm
it.
glad we back.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure to spend some time with you guys. Thank you for tuning in. If something was said valuable, insightful, share it with your network. You never know. I'm pretty certain they may have somebody that they know who's struggling with social media. A young person, older person. I assure you, this social media construct is not age specific. People from all walks of life,
Yeah,
all nationalities, all socioeconomic status are dealing with this same phenomenon that is
yeah,
social media. And if you don't grab a hold of it, I assure you it will
yeah,
grab a hold of you.
absolutely. That was a great closing.
Oh, yeah, I do my best. All right, my sister, we will talk soon. Everyone be
All right.
blessed. We'll see you guys in a couple of weeks.
All
All
right.
right. Good night.